Hi, Dr. Holzhauser and
Dr. Lacroix.
here. Thanks for showing up to take a look at our module. So we're presenting uh, our learning module for HPE 506, Principles of Online Instruction, and the module is sort of a piece of a greater course that would be to teach psychotherapy supervision, and we're specifically dealing with the affective learning domain within the context of psychotherapy supervision.
And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the logistics. So when we start with our module, we're going to do a pre-test so that we see that our learners, that we sort of cover some of the questions, bring up some questions in their minds for what we're going to be learning. Then we're going to define the affective domain via video that Dr. Holzhauser was kind enough to make. Then we have a YouTube video, which was prepared, and as well as an introductory video for the module. We're trying to put this in the larger context of supervision and what it means. But the bulk of our course is primarily the readings for this particular module. And so the first one that we discuss, the title is on learning psychotherapy from clients. And one of the things about this article that I think is really good to introduce to our learners is that oftentimes they view supervision as an academic exercise, when in reality it's about developing a relationship. And like in so much in medicine, learning by doing, even more in therapy, it's even more so.
So the next article is the Watkins article, and in this one again, cover this idea that there are different types of learning involved in psychotherapy, and a big chunk of this takes place in supervision. And within supervision, this sets the framework for the different types of experiences that you might have throughout the supervisory process. And then moving on to the Jacobs chapters, chapter 6, I would like you to read in detail. It covers the majority of the types of experiences, affective and emotional experiences within supervision that lead to your professional development as a psychotherapist. And there's a very small section of chapter 7 that I'd like you to read that covers the concept of parallel process, which is also one of these affective experiences.
And because so much of this, even though it's very, a lot of theories involved, which is why there's a lot of readings, a lot of this, because it deals with the affective domain and emotional component, one of the parts of this module will be about our own personal experiences to help illustrate to the learner what exactly we mean by the affective domain and how we learn to be therapists via supervision. So we give different examples of our own personal experience, so that the learner can better understand parallel process. I wrote a particular incident that occurred to me during my psychotherapy supervision, and then Dr. Holzhauser made some videos about his own personal experiences as well.
So I did two brief videos, just a different way, showing the the students a different way of presenting or collecting these experiences. So I talk about rupture and repair within the context of supervision. One was describing an incident that I had. One was something that had occurred really with some of my peers and how it impacted them. And then finally, I describe what a corrective affective experience that was very meaningful for me that I had during supervision. And then finally, the assignment to go along with that is for the student to sort of consider their own experiences, whether as a supervisor or while they were in supervision as a psychotherapist. Consider an affective experience or relevant experience within supervision and then present it to their class either in text or audio or video or whatever medium seems most appropriate to them or most meaningful, and to share it within their forum and and then comment on the presentation of other class members.
And then finally, what we'll have is we'll have an evaluation for the material, so that we can make sure that we understand at least some of the theory and some of the terminology used, so we can build on it in subsequent modules. And that's followed by a post-test, which will be pretty much identical to the pre-test, just making sure that we've hammered home like some of the more basic concepts.
And the last piece will be an evaluation of the module itself. Recommendations for first assessing how effective the student had as far as their own perceptions of the experience. Was it beneficial to them? Recommendations for things to continue and things that we might improve. Overall, our aim is to help psychotherapists and psychotherapy supervisors to gain an understanding for the affective experience as opposed to the cognitive experience within psychotherapy supervision, to help them to become more effective supervisors, to be more deliberate in their interactions with their trainees, and fill this void, in this gap where really there isn't any specific content for this very important part of our job in academic psychiatry.
I don't know. I think that's about it.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you online.